What's up, guys? Lo here from Em3 Strength and Conditioning. And one of the best exercise that can ruin your back and at the same time strengthen your back is the deadlift. It can ruin your back if you use bad technique and if you ego lift and if you don't listen to your body. It can absolutely strengthen your back if you do use good technique and listen to your body. And it's also nice to have a coach like me to help you make sure you got that technique correct. All right. Now, deadlifting can help ease back pain. As we get older, back pain becomes an issue. Deadlifting and that hinging of the hip with the nice straight back is what will help strengthen that back in order to get rid of that back pain. No one should sleep at night and wake up with back pain after doing nothing at all. So I'm gonna go over the deadlift real quick. It is one of my super favorite exercises to do. I find it very safe to go heavy because you can never necessarily drop it on yourself. All right, so I'm gonna grab my barbell. All right, so it's directly in front of me, and you always want to center yourself in the middle of the bar, and you literally put your crotch over the middle knurl of the bar. If you're wondering what that looks like. All right, so there's the center knurl. It has smooth sides on each side of it. All right, that's pretty much where your legs stand. All right, the knurl's on the left. Before I break a mirror, the knurl's on the right, where your hands go. So first things first, you always want to measure your hands out. You take the edge of the knurls, or the grips, let's just call them grips for, whatever's sake. I use my thumbs to measure out. I'll show you what I mean. So here's the edges of the knurls here, and I measure either a thumb's length. I use my thumb to measure my hands from the center. All right, that way I'm not holding the barbell this way and it feels lopsided or heavy on one side. Always measure your hands out. Now, the reason a lot of folks get injured doing the deadlift is simply because of technique. When you do a deadlift, you want to hinge those hips back, all right? You do not mentally want to think that I am bending forward, because when you bend forward, when you think of bending forward, naturally, we tend to round our backs out, all right? But when you hinge your hips back, AKA stick your ass out, all right, you tend to keep your back nice and straight. I always use the analogy as you're standing on the edge of a cliff or a high space, and you're trying to look over the edge without falling over. All right, so what do? You don't sit there and just bend forward because you'll fall forward. Instead, you push your butt back in order to use your butt as a counterbalance so you can look down. All right, you want to keep your back nice and straight. Now, when I mean straight, obviously your back doesn't go straight like a pole or like the barbell is straight. It has a nice little S curve there, and you want to preserve that curve all the way down and all the way back up. All the way down and all the way back up. You want to push those hips back, soften the knees, not necessarily bend them. Now, if you are someone who is tall, or you have long legs, a shorter torso, things like that, or a long torso and shorter legs, but you're still a tall individual, the deadlift will look different on you than it does on me. All right, that's something we'll tackle later on a different video. But for now, we're just gonna work on this deadlift, all right, and how it helps with your back. First of all, one of the things I always say, even when you go to pick up that barbell, all right, you don't just want to lax, pick it up, just kind of whatever. Your deadlift starts right now, all right? It's called a deadlift because it comes from a dead start, and the weight is on the ground. It's the only lift that is not on you before you start, if that makes any sense. Kind of like when you're squatting, the barbell's already on you, and then you start. Same thing with bench press. You already have the weight, and then you start. Here, the weight is on the ground, dead stop. You actually pick it up, feeling the weight when you pick it up, not before. Okay. So I'm gonna get real close. Just about, I'm practically touching the bar. I always use the analogy of a swimmer getting ready to dive in and go for his relays. All right, butt back, chest out, butt back, arms hanging nice and straight. You don't want your shoulders rolled forward, but you don't want to be here with your chest puffed out. You just want to, I always say, let's call it at attention. We're at attention. This barbell is making constant, it's touching my thighs, sliding down my thighs the whole time, making contact the whole time. My butt is going back. There's a nice stretch in my hamstrings. My back is nice and aligned with my head and my neck. Try not to do this. Even though you want to watch yourself in the mirror, I understand that. But here. My quads are engaged, my hamstrings are engaged, my glutes are engaged as I squeeze. My lats, my shoulders, they're all pulling this barbell back. Boom. All right. And that's the deadlift. It can save you or it can break you. It all depends on your intentions. All right. When you deadlift, especially if you're a beginner, practice the technique most of all. With a barbell, with a pair of dumbbells, which I'll go over in another video, deadlifting with a dumbbell, and make sure that you're hinging those hips back, not bending forward. All right, think to yourself, stick my butt back, soften my knees, not I'm bending forward and I'm standing up. What you tell yourself will definitely affect the outcome. As we get older, back pain is a real issue. In order to prevent that, we need to keep our back nice and strong. There's no better way to strengthen your entire posterior chain from the top of your neck to the behind your knees through the deadlift. Best way, in my personal opinion. So Em3 Strength and Conditioning, protect your back as you get older. Start doing deadlifts, doesn't have to be super heavy, but start doing them, start practicing them, and make sure you're using good technique. That's it. Em3 Strength and Conditioning, right here in Northampton, across the street from the Rite Aid, soon to be formerly known as. All right, Em3 Strength and Conditioning. Let's grow old together.